So when planning this video, I ran into an issue because normally day in the life videos are starting in the morning. When you wake up, it would make sense, right? But with Balzac, I ran into a problem because his routine is so messed up. I had no idea where to actually begin the whole video. It was tricky to decide, but I ended up choosing dinner as the starting point. And it sounds weird, but his routine is so bizarre that it makes sense, you'll see. So starting off with maybe a classically French dinner, quite light. We got some potato and leek soup here, some bread. And Balzac would usually accompany it with some wine, some white wine. So today, we're getting messed up on Le Fat Bastard. It's quite a nice wine, so bon appetit, and we'll actually sleep right after this, so I'm not looking forward to that. Now, I read that Balzac's dinners were typically on the lighter side. They weren't heavy because he had to sleep immediately. And so I'm thinking that we're going to be starving for the night because there's not much food in this routine at all. It's quite worrying. But in a way, I respect that because eating less and having maybe an empty stomach is good for your mental clarity. And that's why he did it, I think. So who knows, maybe we'll be more inspired than usual tonight. So I've just had dinner. It was nice, it was light. Sorted out the wine, got rid of that. And the time is just shy of 7 p.m. And it's time for bed. Balzac went to bed straight after he ate, and early at that. I'm a bit worried here because my sleep schedule is not suited to Balzac's in the slightest. I normally go to bed at like 12 to 1 a.m. It's pretty late, I know. But that's when Balzac would wake up. So we're clashing here completely, and I'm a bit worried I'm not going to be able to fall asleep in the first place. So, I mean, that's hence the wine. I drank a decent bit. So hopefully we can get some sleep at least, and I hope I won't feel completely retarded in the morning. Good morning. Well, it's not a bloody good morning, is it? It's barely even the morning. The time is 1 a.m. And I haven't actually woken up because I never slept in the first place. I tried, I really did. I lied motionless in bed for like 3 hours, just could not fall asleep. So I gave up and just stayed up. And here we are. Might be a bit tougher than first anticipated, but we'll firm it, we got this. I got the cat over here, Beans is his name. Got the candles, and this is going to be my workspace for the next, 7 or 8 hours? Because Balzac, he woke up at 1 a.m, and for him that was the perfect time to write. And he would write all through the night until 8 p.m, which is crazy. No food, no nothing, just coffee. Did you just burn yourself? You did. I smell burning hair. Are you good, bro? Let me just quickly assess the damage. I think he's fine. He does this all the time, to be fair. You good, bro? Yeah, he's fine. From what I read, Balzac was relentless. He would write through the night and approach it very much like a ritual. Like he was doing something sacred and almost beyond his will. It was something spiritual in a way. And yeah, for the next 7 hours, I'll be hopefully doing the same. The days melt in my hands like ice in the sun. I'm not living. I'm wearing myself out in a horrible fashion. But whether I die of work or something else, it's all the same. I am driven by the terrible demon of work, seeking words out of the silence, ideas out of the night. Adding on to that ritualistic approach, I read that Balzac would do all of his writing wearing a white monk's robe. Long, flowing, draping over his body, and with this gold belt fastening him. And from that gold belt hung his pen. I think it was also gold. So it was very much a sort of avant-garde, like pumping himself up. It was very ritualistic, and he wasn't just sitting down to write like it was a day at the office. He was writing to write. Now, I don't happen to own a white monk robe, so the best I can do is this. I have a bathrobe. It doesn't have that same aura, but it was close enough. Now, I want to be as faithful as possible to Balzac's actual routine, so I'm going to try and steer away from typing on the computer and actually write on paper for most of it. Now, of course, yeah, times have changed and a lot of my planning is on the laptop on Obsidian, so I might use it every now and then, but I'm going to try and stick to this for the bulk of it. I also try and avoid electricity, if possible. It did exist back then, it wasn't widespread. They would use, I think, oil lamps. But for now I have candles. And that's pretty accurate, it's good enough. And you know what, the lighting's alright. I see the monitor there, it's pretty good actually. So we'll stick to those, it's much more cozy anyway. And hopefully I can stay true in general. And I haven't even got to the crazy part of the routine yet. Because Balzac drank inhuman amounts of coffee throughout the night. And I don't mean like 10 cups, I mean like 50 at least. I saw some sources say 50 to 300, and I don't buy that, but still, 50 is insane. And it was at least upwards of what, 10, 20? He was essentially constantly drinking coffee, and I don't know how he did it, but it was his lifeblood. It was what fueled his writing sprees and his insane focus. Coffee falls into the stomach. Ideas begin to move. Things remembered arrive at full gallop. The shafts of wit start up like sharpshooters. Similes arise. The paper is covered with ink. Well, Mr. Balzac, when you put it like that, I have to give it a try. We'll be drinking coffee throughout the night. I must look like such a freak to the people outside. They can probably see me through the window. Oh my goodness. So the question is, will I drink 50 cups of coffee myself? Well, listen, I know I said I'd be faithful to the routine, and I want to. But I also value my life. I want to live. I don't want to have heart palpitations. I don't know what caffeine does to you in that excess, but I don't want to find out. I don't want to have heart issues or whatever. So I will try my best to drink as much. And you know, my caffeine tolerance is high. Like I drink loads anyway, so I'm feeling pretty confident. But I also won't drink myself to the point of a medical emergency or whatever. Are you good, bro? What are you looking for? And what especially worries me is how Balzac would make his coffee. He would, this is such a cursed method, he would get his signature blend, grind it finely, and then just keep it on a boil over the stovetop, which would end up with this sort of very strong, very potent, highly caffeinated, sort of thick coffee, somewhat like a Turkish or Greek coffee. There must have been a shit ton of caffeine in that, and I don't know how I'd do that. So I'm going to use just normal brewing methods this time. I'm going to use my espresso machine, and we'll try and keep things measured. This is past me talking. It's 4 p.m, just before the video is about to start technically. And the reason we've reversed in time is because I have to grind the beans in advance. Because this thing is loud, it's fucking loud. And I don't want to wake up the whole neighborhood, I don't want to wake up my girlfriend, I don't want to, I guess, annoy the cat. And I need to do this in advance so that I can get out of the way, basically. Because it's loud. Like, it's loud. Like, you can't hear me in that right now. It's terrible. It's awful. Terrible. And if you're wondering why we have to grind the coffee in the first place, it just tastes better. When you buy whole and then grind when you need it. Because all the flavor's preserved, it doesn't get stale as quickly. Now, normally, right, I'd use a nice specialty coffee. This one's from a Giraffe in Rotterdam. And you know, it's got notes. That's how you know it's fancy. But it's kind of a waste, isn't it? It's kind of a waste of coffee. And Balzac, his special blend came from faraway lands. Shipping wasn't very quick back then. So it just feels unfair to use this nice coffee in a video like this, which is dumb in the first place. But so to make things more balanced and fair, and to be more faithful to the times, we've downgraded to just supermarket beans, nothing crazy. Now these have been roasted probably weeks, maybe months ago, and they're not as fresh. And this is my first time trying supermarket coffee. I know it sounds snobby, but believe me, the taste difference is there. This just does not stack up to specialty beans, which are freshly roasted. You can see the date even. Yeah, these were roasted just like a week or two ago. And they're fresh, they still taste great. And for that extra, what, like €10 per kilo? It's actually a good thing to invest in. Like, it's a noticeable improvement for, yes, a bit of extra cost, but whatever. So we're gonna grind these up. I don't know how much we'll need, but I'll grind a lot. And just because, again, I don't wanna die, like I don't wanna have heart palpitations and for this to be my last video, I have decaf, just in case. I don't wanna use this. It feels cheat. It's cheating. It's cheating, let's be real. It's cheating, it's cowardly, but I'm gonna have to have these for backup in case things start to get bad. So we'll grind some of that. We'll grind, I think, all of these. We'll portion them out. We'll test the grind size, and hopefully it goes well. And if you are into coffee, making your own coffee, and this feels like too big of an investment for you, too big a jump, trust me, it's not. Because these are, I think, 20 per kilo, and these are about 30 per kilo, at least where I live. And yes, it does cost significantly more, but you do really feel the difference. Like, these tastes a bit, now that I'm used to these and I'm going back to the supermarket ones, it just tastes burned. It tastes burned, it tastes bitter, acrid. Maybe I suck at making coffee, but even just from smelling them, you can smell the quality difference. And you don't have to be someone who can pick up all the different notes. Focus, please. Like, oh my, this has floral notes. You don't have to be like that. It just tastes better. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I thought I should mention that because it's a new discovery to me. I'm pretty new to this and it's cool. Now I was gonna try and find the right grind size, find the right dosage, the right extraction, all the bullshit, right? But on second thought, I'm not gonna do that because Balzac's brewing method was cursed. It was really just atrocious. And I don't think that I need to optimize for flavor. That's not what we're going for here. We're going for coffee, brew coffee. Doesn't matter if it's disgusting, it probably was back then. So I'm just gonna grind with whatever I feel like will be the right size and we'll see how it ends up. If it's terrible, it's terrible and the whole batch is ruined. If it's good, it's still gonna be gross, so we'll see. Okay, so out of curiosity, I'm just gonna try and see if this extraction will be any good. And if this sucks, this is what I'm drinking for the rest of the night, so fingers crossed. Let's get the scale going. It's not gonna be good, is it? Oh dear, what's that? Oh, you know what? That's okay. It's a bit drippy, it's a bit... Oh, yeah. It could be worse. That's actually okay, I'm not complaining with that. It's probably better than what Balzac had to drink, so... All right, so quick taste test. It's smelling okay. And there is crema, which is maybe a good sign, I'm not sure. Oh dear, well, okay. Yeah, it's pretty shit, isn't it? It's pretty bad. But I will say, I've tried this last week and it was worse then. So maybe I've improved the grind size or something, but this is nicer than it was. It's still pretty bad. It's still kind of acrid almost. I don't know, it just tastes old. It tastes like if coffee could be moldy, it's this. Just like a shitty office coffee or something from a machine. But it's not as bad as I thought. So this is a good sign. This is what we're gonna be drinking for the rest of the night. I'm gonna get sick of it, I'm sure, very quickly, but I still bet it was better than Balzac's, whatever bullshit blend he was doing, so. Okay, now on to the decaf. So the decaf is from Hamer, the goat of the Netherlands. There we go, where's the focus? There, come on, look at that. I've never had this before, but It was cheap, so it's gonna be shit, let's be real. Although, it smells good. I'm excited, let's see. Taste test of the decaf coffee. I don't want to sound like a twat, right? But this smells like jasmine-y. It's almost... We're not beating the snobbery allegations, but it does have that, I don't know, it has this like crisp, jasmine-esque smell going on. Yeah, no, that's not nice. So the time is nearing 2 a.m. and I think it's time to have our first brew of the night and break our coffee virginity. Now, I'm gonna get so sick of this over the next few hours, so we'll try and enjoy this one as much as we can. And then I'll be working on some scripts, some rough drafts, some newsletters, and maybe my book as well. So there's lots of work to be done. And honestly, I'm genuinely excited to find out how productive this is going to be. So let's shut up, let's stop waffling, let's make some coffee. It's only going to get worse from here, so we better enjoy it while we can. And I will try and keep you updated on what it's doing to me as well. Unless I shit myself to death or something, I don't know. Now, Balzac may have been a legendary writer, but like everyone in the pre-internet era, there were limits to what he could learn. While newspapers were booming in popularity at the time, they were still very slow to get around compared to what we have now. And then depending on who was in charge, you had censorship, on top of the problems of illiteracy and poor interpretation. Centuries later, our news is faster, but we haven't solved the reliability question. We get stuck in our bubble. We eat things up without knowing where they come from, and we only see a narrow side of the story. We may live in the information age, but clarity is as rare as ever. Ground News is sponsoring this video, and they have changed the game for me. And I bet Balzac would be jealous too. Ground News is the internet's best news aggregate. They compile articles from all across the political spectrum, giving you precious context to understand the stories with. You see what is being reported, but most importantly, who's doing the reporting. And beyond the political leaning of each news site, you also get data on the factuality, and even the ownership. And this is basic stuff we deserve to know as readers. My favourite place to browse is the blind spot feed. Ground News helps you read beyond your usual spheres, and it shows you stories that are underreported on both the left and the right. For example, I saw that Brazil joined South Africa's ICJ case accusing Israel of genocide, and interestingly, it seemed to be underreported on the left. If we turn across the Atlantic, I also read a story on how a handful of major news agencies produced a film to urge Israel to let foreign journalists into Gaza, especially since at least 190 Palestinian journalists have been killed. At the time I read this, not a single right-wing outlet was covering it, so that was interesting to see. This system helps you engage with stories from different sides of the spectrum, and it's very important for training your critical eye and challenging your internal biases. So if you want to cut through the online fog and read with clarity, then you can go to ground.news/Odysseus, or you can scan the QR code on screen. And that will give you 40% off of the Vantage plan, which is the one I use. Now, I really respect their mission, and I hope you enjoy using it just as much as I do. So thank you to Ground News. Okay, so the time is 2:30, and I haven't done any writing yet. I'm failing Balzac. I'm dishonouring the routine. So I'll have a quick coffee, second one, and then we'll actually get writing. Also, I should mention that Balzac drank all of his coffee black. There was no woke café au lait, no cappuccinos, no lattes, just black coffee. Balzac was one of those guys, those boomers who doesn't comprehend milk in coffee.
I can't just make a video on Balzac without talking about the man himself, because as you may have guessed, he was quite the character. His upbringing was pretty rough. It was pretty common at the time for middle and upper class women to send their children to wet nurses, which are like babysitters, sort of, except they also breastfeed the children. Balzac was one of those kids, and he seemed to have a hard time with the cruelty from the wet nurses. He even modelled one of his own novel's characters after one of the caregivers. And even when he was home, there didn't seem to be much parental love in the air. In grammar school, Balzac's dad purposefully gave him only a very small allowance, hoping it would force him to build a tough work ethic. We see that it kinda worked, but it did mean he was often bullied by the richer students. Now, on top of the bullying, Balzac was often punished with detention by the school because he struggled with the learning style, which seemed to rely heavily on repetition and memory and all these other things. Balzac, my goat, he knew before all of us.
I'm only at coffee number 3 and I'm already sick of it. It's disgusting. Balzac, I don't know how he can do this. To be fair, the writing's been going well. I feel I'm tweaking, like I'm locked in. I feel energized, I feel clear of mind. And I think he's onto something, even though he's a bit weird. Can you leave my seat, please? I need this. Go get it. There's nothing there, but go get it. No, please. There we go. The coffee is clapped. It's gone cold. I hate it. It's bitter. It's disgusting. And yet there's so many more to go, isn't there? Oh, yeah.
For the next few years, he voraciously read books of all kind. He studied in private schools with private tutors and even famous professors. He was very studious, but his mental condition was rough, and he even tried to kill himself at one point. After struggle and exploration, he finally entered law, and yet it didn't excite him at all, and that frustration only pushed him to start writing. And did he write? This guy wrote and wrote and wrote. That's what they call living. That's life at the grindstone, doing the same thing over and over again. I am hungry and nothing is offered to appease my appetite. Balzac wrote a lot. By the time he was 27, he already had 9 novels under his belt. He wrote pamphlets, he wrote tragedy, he wrote novels, short stories, a bit of everything. And that was all before his famous work, La Comédie Humaine. There's a beautiful lesson here. We just see La Comédie Humaine, his magnum opus. But imagine all of the hard work and bullshit Balzac had to go through before he found that success. I mean, hell, he overcame suicidal feelings. His childhood sounded pretty awful. People called his books shit for ages. And yet he wrote. He wrote and wrote and wrote. He was resilient. He got comfortable with failure, and through that struggle, he's now remembered as a legend. Because greatness does come at a cost, and We can thank Balzac for showing that to us yet again. So he wrote La Comédie Humaine, and this wasn't one book, but a huge series of novels and essays that essentially covered everything about French society. Capitalism, money, the nobility, politicians, the citizenry, a bit of everything. It was very sociological, you could say. And of course, this became his magnum opus by which we know him today.
And we're at coffee number 4. The time is 4 a.m. Done a decent bit of writing. I'm hungry. I'm sick of coffee. Is this the Mr. Beastification of the channel? Is this what we're doing now? Writing routines, challenges, really? Come on now. And also, I don't think having this much coffee on an empty stomach is good for you. Something feels wrong. Alright, so we're just past 4 a.m. and the writing's going well, to be honest. There's a lot of thinking for this video topic, and I'm not even writing that much in terms of volume, but there's a lot to think about, there's a lot to digest, there's a lot to plan for the curriculum. But, on the more negative side, I feel sick. Man, this coffee is disgusting. The empty stomach is killing me. I don't know how Balzac did this. This is horrible. I mean, he must have had some, evolution, some adaptation to all this coffee, because he was drinking it every day, and fucking hell, it's gross. As for fucking, I can't even talk. As for fatigue, I feel okay, to be honest. I'm tired, obviously, but I don't know. Just the act of thinking and writing, it does keep you awake. So I can understand why the late night grind was appealing to him. I get it, I really do. And while it's not sustainable, at least so far, I can understand why it would be something that he would choose. A big reason for this whole video is to sort of evaluate just how good this routine is, if we can learn anything from it, if we can borrow the good parts and leave the bad parts behind. And you know what? I will say there's a lot of bad parts. All that coffee on an empty stomach, I don't know what it is. I'm usually good with coffee, but it just made me sick. I feel like shit. I wrote a big part of the first draft for the personal curriculum video, which is quite a bulky topic. That's a long video with lots of research involved, lots of planning and structure. I want to make sure it's right. And so it was productive in that sense. I did get a lot done. I didn't feel good while doing it. It was pretty awful. And honestly, there's just no reason to stay up through the nights. There's no advantage. It's like, you're not tough, man. You're not tough. And to be fair, you see that a lot in the crazy parts of the self-improvement community, where they wake up crazy early for some reason. And it's like, why? How does that help you? I understand waking up at 6, where you get some peace and quiet before the day starts, but waking up at 3 a.m, 1 a.m, who's that serving? You're not a bat, bruv. You can enjoy a regular schedule without it being completely insane. I can't say this was the most fun video to make. I don't know if my demeanor gives that away, but thankfully the hardest is behind us. But now we can actually enjoy some daylight. The sun's creeping out. We can maybe feel a sense of normalcy, and hopefully we can end on a high note. My guy is literally called Balzac. Imagine that. Imagine being called Balzac. Honoré de Balzac. That's crazy. Also, I don't know if I'm being just a bitch, but I've only had 6, I can't say that, 6, 7 to 8 coffees, and that killed me. I don't know what happened, I don't know why, I don't know how, but just those few coffees messed me up. I feel extremely hungry, but then also nauseous at the same time, like sick. And even the thought of drinking more is just disgusting. I've got like cotton mouth, coffee breath. Ugh, this is horrible. So I don't know how he did it. I'm quite worried for the next part because Balzac, after his writing marathon in the night, he would nap for 90 minutes. And while I am tired and I could use some sleep, I don't think the nap's going to help. I feel like it's going to just make me feel more lethargic when I wake up. And I never nap, ever. It's like, why as a man should I sleep more than I need to? Come on now. We have stuff to do. There's no time for napping. There's no room for that. You sleep 8 hours and then you do your thing. Do you hate life that much that you have to escape it in sleep more than you need to?
I had my nap and it was great. I fell asleep quickly. I woke up refreshed. It was much needed. But this is me from the future because when I woke up, I realized I could not finish the video. Where I live is pretty hectic and sometimes we have a market. And as early as like 4:30 a.m, you'll hear people setting up outside. Lots of metal clanging and people moving their trucks in and setting up the stalls. It's pretty chaotic. And I'm okay with that, I'm used to it. It's the background noise you'll hear in a lot of videos. Now that's fine and good. But then when I woke up at like 8:30 or 9 a.m, one of these things started playing. And I don't know if this is exclusive to the Netherlands or you also find it in Western Europe generally, but they're loud and they're one of these like roaming music boxes that play music really loudly. And you have the handlers shaking their tins, asking for donations, but they're loud. And it was right outside and I was like, I can't film with this. This is just too intrusive. I couldn't find any quiet spots in the house. And essentially it cut the video short, which is annoying because I wanted to finish it and I wanted to do it justice, but no, it really just made it impossible. It was bad timing. Now I thought to film the rest of it the next day, but the most interesting part of Balzac's routine was behind us. Balzac, after his nap, would see visitors. Well, first he'd have a 1 hour long bath, which is, I don't have a bath anyway. He'd have a 1 hour long bath and then he would see visitors, which meant he would, I think, meet his publisher and exchange documents for the whole book writing process, and maybe whoever else. I don't know if he had a proper social life, but he would see people essentially. And then finally, after all of that writing, all of the coffee, the toil, the struggle, he would eat something. And this was much needed because, again, there's not much food in this routine. And he was a simple guy. He'd break his fast with eggs. I think 6 I read. 6 blood-clad eggs. So that was all good. I did that actually. And then maybe as you'd expect, he just carried on writing until dinner, 6 p.m, where the whole thing would repeat itself. And of course, this grueling routine is why he could produce so much and maybe why he died early. So now the question is, was Balzac's routine useful in any way? Was it just batshit crazy, or was there something we can actually learn from and extract from his routine and maybe apply it to our own lives of writing and education and business and whatever? It sounds a bit cringe, like a bit self-helpy. But what are the top 5 lessons we can learn from this? But look, that was the point of the video, so we'll do it. Well, let's get the obvious out of the way. This was antisocial. Because he went to bed at 6, he didn't have evenings to himself or to spend with friends or family. And he would be awake when everyone else was asleep. But then again, he did wake up at a fairly normal time, and he did write during the day and see people just normally as we would. So in a sense, it's not fair to call it completely antisocial. What I did enjoy though was how peaceful it was. Because yeah, I was tired and a bit annoyed at 3 a.m. But in fairness, you just feel the serenity and the tranquility. You look outside and the world is still, the lights are on. Everything is just frozen almost. And there's a sense of meditation in that. As you're writing and the candle lights are flickering, it was peaceful. And I understand that you'd want to wake up really early or stay up really late just to have that moment of complete uninterruption, when no one's calling your name, no one's asking anything, no one's awake, no one's emailing you, messaging you. I get it. With whatever routine you end up picking, what truly matters is that you stick to it and stay consistent. Because this video was me being thrust into some batshit crazy routine overnight, literally. I was not used to it. It was the opposite of what I was doing before. And yeah, no wonder it's not going to feel good. But if you were to do this consistently and aim to apply it every day, it would become normal to you. Your circadian rhythm would adjust. You would wake up at the proper times, without the alarm even, and it would just feel normal. I'm sure that if I repeated this for a week with less coffee and less wine maybe, I think I'd feel great. I think I'd get a lot done, actually. So that's the thing with routines. It doesn't matter where the work is and where the rest is. It just matters that it's there somewhere. And it matters that you are comfortable with it and you like it and it works for you. What we've also learned from Balzac is that tea just won't cut it. You need caffeine, like you need caffeine to be clever and to operate. But tea just doesn't have enough. It's weak, it has no thumos, it has no energy. It's just this leaf sort of diluting away in a hot stew. It's like a pond water. You need coffee. You need coffee which is really infused with the energy of conquerors and geniuses and inventors. It's just different. It's got this aura to it that tea just lacks. Tea is peaceful, tea is chill, it's serene. Coffee is driven, it's motivated, it's destructive, as we see here, as I felt. So that's my big takeaway from this routine. What a dumb video. So in conclusion, Balzac was onto something. He was crazy, he had a weird routine, it was unorthodox, but he was onto something. It worked. And history tells the same story. Like, how many times have we seen these autistic and unorthodox and extreme work habits produce greatness? All of these, these great philosophers, these great inventors and pioneers, they were just as weird in their own way. And Balzac is yet another example of that sort of bizarre approach to work that no one else can emulate. It produces something amazing. We need our own version of that, our own slice of compulsion and drive that no one else is daring to do. And if you can find that and get used to it, I think we can achieve a lot. So thank you, Balzac. Or I'm completely bullshitting. So let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.